We all want to be a little happier, a little more confident, and a lot less stressed. But what if I told you that some of the biggest changes you can make in your life don't require huge effort or drastic lifestyle overhauls? Just a few small shifts in how your brain works. Today, we're diving into practical, science-backed psychology hacks that can genuinely change how you think, feel, and act in your relationships, your work, and even the way you see yourself. Let's get into it. 1. The act as if hack. This one sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but it's powerful. The act as if principle is based on the idea that behavior can change emotions. For example, if you act confident, even when you don't feel confident, your brain starts to align with your behavior. You begin to feel more confident because your actions are signaling to your brain that you already are. This isn't about faking it in a dishonest way, it's about using your body and your actions to influence your mental state. Research in psychology shows that posture, tone, and behavior can actually shape mood and thought patterns. So, if you're anxious before a presentation, instead of waiting to feel confident, start behaving as though you are. Shoulders back, steady breath, controlled voice. Your brain catches up to your body faster than you think. 2. The power of the pause. Most people underestimate the power of silence. Whether you're in an argument, a negotiation, or a tough conversation, learn to pause before you respond. That brief moment of stillness gives your brain time to process emotion, filter out reactivity, and choose a calm, intentional response instead of an impulsive one. Here's what's fascinating. Studies show that people who pause before answering appear more thoughtful, confident, and intelligent. So next time someone challenges you or throws a difficult question your way, don't rush to fill the silence. Let it sit for a moment. That small pause can completely shift the tone of the interaction and give you the upper hand emotionally. 3. The name it to tame it technique. When emotions feel overwhelming, anger, fear, anxiety, your instinct might be to push them down or distract yourself. But that actually makes things worse. A better approach is called name it to tame it. Simply put, when you label your emotion out loud, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm frustrated right now, your brain shifts activity from the emotional center, the amygdala, to the rational part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. This labeling process literally calms your nervous system. It's like giving your brain a moment to organize the chaos inside. Next time you feel flooded by emotion, just identify what you're feeling. It might sound too easy, but the psychological benefits are surprisingly deep. 4. The exposure hack, shrinking fear. Here's one of the most powerful psychological hacks for overcoming fear or anxiety: exposure in small doses. Your brain learns fear through association, but it can also unlearn it through gradual exposure. Let's say you're afraid of public speaking. Instead of avoiding it, start with micro exposures. Talk in a small group. Record yourself speaking alone. Then share that video with a friend. Step by step, your brain rewires itself, learning that the situation isn't as dangerous as it once believed. This method is backed by cognitive behavioral therapy and neuroscience. Repeated, controlled exposure to what scares you literally changes your brain's threat response. So remember, the more you avoid, the stronger the fear becomes. The more you face it, the weaker it gets. 5. The 2-minute rule for motivation. When you're feeling lazy or unmotivated, your brain tricks you into thinking you need to feel inspired before you act. But in reality, motivation comes after action, not before. Here's the hack: commit to just 2 minutes. If you need to write, tell yourself you'll write for 2 minutes. If you need to exercise, do it for 2 minutes. That small commitment bypasses procrastination and lowers resistance. Most of the time, you'll keep going far beyond 2 minutes, because once you start, momentum takes over. Behavioral psychology shows that getting started is the hardest part. The 2-minute rule helps you outsmart your own brain and makes discipline almost automatic. 6. The peak end rule for happiness. Have you ever noticed that when you look back on an experience, a vacation, a date, a movie, you don't remember every detail? You mostly remember 2 things: the peak, the most intense moment, and the end. This is known as the peak end rule, discovered by psychologist Daniel Kahneman. It's why we remember the last few minutes of an event so vividly, and why endings matter so much in our overall memory of something. You can use this to your advantage. When you're creating experiences, whether it's a day out, a project, or even a conversation, make sure the ending feels positive or satisfying. A strong finish can dramatically change how you and others remember the entire experience. 7. The spotlight effect. Most of us worry too much about what others think of us, how we look, what we say, whether we made a small mistake. But here's the truth: people aren't paying as much attention as you think. This bias is called the spotlight effect. the tendency to overestimate how much others notice or care about our behavior. Realizing this can be freeing. That embarrassing moment you replay in your head? Most people forgot it in 5 minutes. Understanding the spotlight effect helps you relax, take more social risks, and stop wasting mental energy on self-consciousness that's mostly imagined. 8. The gratitude flip. Your brain has a built-in negativity bias. It pays more attention to threats, problems, and mistakes than to good things. It's a survival mechanism, but it can make life feel heavier than it really is. The antidote is deliberate gratitude. Every day, try this simple exercise. Write down 3 specific things you're grateful for, not generic ones like family or health, but small, vivid details like the smell of coffee this morning or the text from a friend that made me laugh. This practice retrains your brain to scan for positives instead of negatives. Over time, it literally rewires your neural pathways for greater happiness and resilience. It's not just feel-good talk, neuroscience backs it up. 9. The mirror technique for self-esteem. Self-talk shapes everything: your mood, motivation, and self-image. One powerful way to shift your inner dialogue is through the mirror technique. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say something positive and true. I'm proud of you for showing up. You're improving every day. You've overcome worse before. It might feel awkward at first, but over time, this strengthens your self-concept and reduces negative internal chatter. Psychologists call this self-affirmation theory. It's about reminding your subconscious that you are capable, worthy, and resilient, even when your mind tries to convince you otherwise. Point 10. The environment hack. We often think willpower is the key to better habits, but the truth is, environment beats willpower every time. If you want to eat healthier, make healthy food visible and easy to reach. If you want to read more, put your book on your pillow so you see it before bed. Small environmental cues shape behavior automatically. You don't need more discipline, you need smarter design. Psychologist B.J. Fogg calls this behavior design, and it's the foundation of how habits stick. Point 11. The social proof shortcut. Humans are wired to follow social cues. It's part of how we evolved. This means if you want to change a habit, surround yourself with people who already live the way you want to live. Want to exercise more? Spend time with people who value fitness. Want to grow financially? Talk to people who are responsible with money. Your brain naturally mirrors the behavior and attitudes of your environment, a phenomenon called social contagion. You become like the people you spend time with, whether you intend to or not. So choose your circle intentionally. It's one of the most powerful psychological hacks for long-term change. Final thoughts. The mind is powerful, but it's also programmable. These psychology hacks aren't magic. They're tools to help you use your brain smarter, not harder. Confidence, focus, emotional balance. They're not traits you're born with, they're skills you can train through small daily shifts. Try 1 or 2 of these techniques today. The magic happens not when you know them, but when you apply them. Your brain is listening. Give it the right instructions, and it will reshape your entire life.